Last Wednesday, not this past Wednesday, 10 days ago. Go back a couple weeks. I was walking through the house, early evening, late afternoon. My phone rang. It was in my pocket. I'm digging for it. I pull it out, and I see it's my friend Craig from Ransom Tart. I was so excited to see his name come up on my phone. And if you don't know Craig and who he's been to me, my main mentor, this man has spoken more truth into me and helped shape me more than any other person on the planet ever. And I love him deeply. And I haven't spoken to him in a while. And so I'm scrambling, and I answer the phone. I say, "Hey, man." He says, "Hey, Greg." And so he asked how I was doing and what we've been up to. And I just spent a little bit of time on that because I wanted to get to how are you? Because I knew he'd been down in Houston battling his cancer, battling for his life under this experimental drug treatment. So I shifted gears to him, and he said, "You know what? It's been going from bad to worse. It's not good, Greg." And he told me, he says, "I've been basically incoherent for the last 2 weeks. Today's my first good day." He said, "My family told me I've been kind of totally nutty for the last 2 weeks, so I wanted to be sure to call you because I have some things I need to say to you." I was like, "Okay. What do you got?" And he said, "Greg, I love you. I really do." And I said, "I love you too, man." He said, I got a question I need to ask you, Greg." I was like, "Okay, shoot." And Craig said, would you be willing to, and then it was like, he was gone. I was like, oh my gosh. I thought I'd lost him until I heard him sobbing and crying on the other end of the phone. And finally, he was able to pull himself together enough to say, would you be willing to do my service? Would you be willing to do my funeral? And I felt like a siren was going off in my head, and I just totally came unglued, and I lost it, and I just went out onto the back deck. Stacy was in the house, kids were gone. I'm trying to compose myself, and sure I would. I'd be honored to do that. I didn't even know how to deal with what I was feeling inside because in one sense, I mean, of all the people he could ask, he's asking me. What a deep honor. So I'm deeply honored in the depths of my heart, and at the same time, my heart is breaking at the thought of losing this great man in my life. And I say, sure, man, I got you. I got you. And we talked a little bit more, and he said, we'll have other conversations. I was like, okay. And then in typical Craig fashion, he made me laugh. He made me laugh about something, and I got off the phone, and Stacy looked at me, and she said, I think we need to go for a walk. And so let's get Bentley, our black lab, and we went for a walk. And we were probably gone, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't remember a lot about that walk. I don't remember saying a lot on that walk. I don't think I did, but I remember thinking this. That is what I want my life to look like. That is what I want my life to look like. No, I don't want to fight cancer, but I want my life to look like that. As heartbroken as I am by this horrific storm that has hit my friend's life, I am so encouraged and challenged by his relationship with Jesus in the midst of the storm. This man has built his life on the foundation of Jesus. And Jesus tells us, he loves us enough to tell us, he says, look, in this world you will have trouble. Storms are coming, but you don't need to be afraid because I have overcome the world. I've overcome. What that means for you and me is there's no storm that can hit our life that Jesus can't see us through. And so I was thinking about that, and I'm reminded of the last few words that Craig said to me on the phone about 10 days ago. He said, Greg, God is good. He's so, so good. And God has something for you in my story. You know what that is? That's a man who has built his life on the rock. I want that in my life, don't you? Don't you?